Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Old Trafford Odyssey, your latest Manchester United news and your favorite Manchester United fan channel. I'm Ankit.
And I'm Craig.
A lot of things to discuss through today. So let's just dive straight into it. So we've got some really exciting stuff for today. Lot of news coming in
The takeover.
with regards to the takeover in the last few days. I'm sure you've seen a lot of tweets and a lot of news flying around, so much of confusion. And we've got a latest breaking news as well. So first, let me just tell you what this latest breaking news that we have, which is coming in. So 18 years after the Glazers bought Manchester United in a leveraged buyout, Premier League clubs agreed unanimously today to prohibit fully leveraged buyouts. This is coming in from Sky Kawe.
This is massive news, man.
Massive news.
Massive.
I mean,
this is immense.
Before we, dive deeper into this, let me just say this that, yes, a few decades too late. But as you say,
a couple of decades too late, man.
Yeah, but as you say, better late than never.
Yeah.
So
right.
Still a good decision.
Yeah.
And Kaveh, we all know, has been excellent when it comes to journalism and reporting
You can
news
bank on the
specifically
guy.
around Manchester United and the takeover.
Yeah.
So this again seems to be another twist in the takeover saga. How does this affect Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid to Manchester United? What are your views? What do you think this sudden and this new development of Premier League clubs agreeing to not allow for leverage buyouts anymore?
This basically the timing of this news, a day after the stock price is shooting up, and we're going to get to that as well.
Yeah, we're going to get to the stock prices definitely.
But then the sheer timing of this, even Mbappe putting in the news coming out of Mbappe of him wanting to leave PSG, it gives me that kind of feeling that this was meant to be. I mean, we're still going to keep our fingers crossed. But then
nothing's still over.
Nothing's over yet.
Agreed. The wind seems to have shifted a bit towards the
Qatar.
Qataris.
Yeah.
But still, it's not completely over yet.
Yeah.
Until it's over, I think we've learned enough with the Glazers for 17 years to know nothing's done till it's done.
Until it's signed and sealed.
Exactly. So this could have a major impact. This news of no more leverage buyouts could have a massive impact on obviously what goes down in the next week or 2 weeks in Manchester United around the takeover saga, because obviously this massively affects Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid, because it has a lot of loans that are involved, a lot of debt that he's going to be taking through different banks to be able to buy Manchester United. Now, Ineos has been always keen to point out the fact that
it's not going to be
that
on
debt
the
that
club.
they take to buy us is not going to go to the club.
Yeah.
However, it will be put on and taken over by Ineos.
Yep.
It's still debt, it's still associated debt, but as a lot of fans, do argue and claim, it's not as bad as the leverage that we already have on the club. However, despite the emphasis from Ineos from day one about how they're not going to put the new debt on a club, there has been no clarity whatsoever about the existing debt.
Yeah.
What happens to that? Are you going to clear that? Is that also going to be taken over by Ineos, or is it just going to stay where it is?
It's going to stay where it is. That's
exactly my point.
This makes his takeover look really unlikely.
It does. It definitely does. But people can get creative. There can always be ways around. So we still can't count things out. But definitely, I think this does hit Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid. It hits him hard. It hits him hard. Puts him like maybe a few steps behind already when he looks like he's getting behind Qataris. As opposed to Sheikh Jassim, who I don't think will face any issue with his bid, since from day one it's always been about complete clearance of the debt on Manchester United and pledged investment as well. So there has gone it's cash only basically. So with his bid again. Even recently, today, I think we had certain reports around the sale. Let me just look through and get that tweet out. So basically, again, Mike Keegan today has also come out, and this is coming from him, that Sheikh Jassim's offer comes with the promise that the debt would be wiped clean. There have that would have an immediate effect on the budget. Removing debt and the prospect of further servicing could give as much as 50 million pounds immediate boost to our transfer budget.
Yeah, that's without said, right? If you're not going to have a debt, then automatically for financial fair play as well, this 50 million will be a huge boost to our budget.
Absolutely. I mean,
not even considering
any
our
day.
player sales and
Any
everything.
day. Agreed.
And long term wise, as we discussed the last time we got together, long term, there's a huge future with Qatar. Like over the next 5 years, they will buy us.
That's
our
what.
travel back
See,
to keep
there's
playing it.
uncertainties in both bids. Let's be honest here, and I know there'll be a lot of fans out here, who want Sir Jim's bid and are completely opposed to the Qatari bid. Obviously, for a lot of reasons, some of them being moral and. That there's not much you can argue with that stance, with people not being morally okay to be owned by Qatar. I get that opinion. I respect that as well. I wouldn't want to, disrespect their opinion specifically when it is something like, moral grounds. So I completely get where they're coming from. But my personal opinion on this takeover is only simple, that we have two horses in this race. I mean, I would love it. I would have loved if we had another third or a fourth or a fifth, or maybe another 3-4 options to choose from, where we had like a more non-moral, maybe super wealth option, maybe something like an Amazon or an Apple or a Elon Musk or somebody like that,
Corporate
with super
takeover.
wealth, with probably a bit more moral on the moral side, with who would clear the debts and not keep the Glazers in. But the fact is, the reality and the truth is that we only have two options.
Qatar's the best bet we have.
So
man.
exactly,
Qatar's our best
and morals, bro. I mean, honestly, this is football. I understand, being morally against Qatar for what that state represents. But at the end of the day, this is football, and morals were thrown down the drains long ago in football, decades ago. So I don't know why suddenly morals come back into football and why it's become such a big deal only when Manchester United is being taken over by a Middle East or a state. It never stopped anybody when nobody had such a massive problem. The same energy was never there when it was about City being acquired, about Newcastle being acquired by state wealth, about with PSG
That's
being a
because they're
state-run
United.
club.
That's
Exactly.
because they're United. People are going to talk.
People are
about-
terrified of, I think people are just terrified specifically in England and English clubs, English media. Everybody is terrified of a completely debt-free Manchester United with super wealth.
Europe are going to be terrified.
Everybody, I
Everyone
think
in
the entire
Europe
world
will be
of
shivering.
football is terrified by the fact that, if United get that kind of power, where will we be? And
With Ten Hag at the
again,
helm.
Manchester United did not bring this into football.
Yeah.
As fans, we were ones who were one of those guys who did oppose when City was being taken over by a state and Newcastle being taken over by a state. But what have we seen over the years? We've seen
They've
that,
grown.
they've been led to do what they want.
Yeah.
The culprits are not clubs like City and Newcastle. The culprits are organizations like Premier League, like UEFA, like FA, who have let this slide, who have let this happen. So it's a clear message, right? That today,
Game's all about
somebody who has a cheat code, who has super wealth, will even break 115 rules and they can still win trophies. They can still go on and nothing will be done.
Yep.
And it's not like nothing can't be done, because we've clearly seen that Premier League, FA, UEFA are clearly capable of taking really fast decisions on certain clubs, not at the level of City, not with that kind of money.
Yeah.
They're taking decisions left, right, and center against these guys.
Things
So
get
why
brushed under the mat, like with City?
But why,
and
with City, why is it taking so
115
long?
violations and it's gone. It's brushed under the mat.
I mean,
no one
make this
talks about
make
it
sense.
anymore, man.
Make this make sense.
Yeah.
That how does a club with 115 financial violations still gets to compete on this level, and a club which is suspended, which was suspended from this competition, gets that suspended and that ban temporarily lifted,
And then they go
goes
on and
to
win
win
it.
that cup.
Man,
It's
man,
hilarious.
that's mockery,
So
yeah.
I mean, if this is what football has become, a mockery, where the only clubs that can compete today and win is who have that money and that power, that cheat code, then I'm sorry. As Manchester United fans, as a Manchester United fan, I want the best for my club.
Yeah.
I am not okay with my club being competing for maybe a 5th or a 6th position in the league every year, and maybe once a while get like a Carabao Cup and be happy with it because we're being run morally.
6 years, man. 6 years, 2017 to 2023, the gap is big enough. It's unforgivable. 6 years without a trophy. Not
But
good enough, man.
Exactly, it's not, and I'm not okay with that. It's okay. I would rather have the cheat code. That's my opinion.
If you can't beat him, join him.
Exactly.
that's
Exactly. That's how it goes, right?
That's where football is at right now.
I mean, like I said,
got
I
the bucks,
completely
you can make
understand
things
and
work.
do respect these guys who have these moral issues with Qatar owning us. But for me, I mean, like I see it this way that morals did go out of football and morals no longer matter in football, and you can hold on to your morals as much as you want, but
Yeah.
eventually you will end up being somebody who wins nothing, and 15 years down the line Manchester City will have its own history. They will be a club that probably has 2 or 3 trebles,
Yeah, we
along
can't
with
let that
somebody like
happen.
a Newcastle who has 1 treble as well, maybe by that time.
Very possible.
And Manchester United ends up being a club that's, we run morally, and 20 years ago we were the first to win the treble and we did it morally. That's all we will be.
These are images of an apocalyptic
I'm
future.
telling you, like how you see Arsenal fans right now, constantly just ranting one thing: Invincibles. They have nothing else to show for. Invincibles, only record not to have been beaten. We'll be that club that keeps shouting, only club to win morally, the treble morally.
I'm tired of ranting. I've never been one of those fans like puts in the past is in the past. If you're a winner, if you want to win, then you look towards the future. And I think as United fans, we need to stop looking back at the past.
I'll agree with you.
It'll be at the right step in the future, is what I feel. The Qataris taking
Look,
over. A vast majority of us believe that the Qataris are the right move.
How the
Fraction
general
of fans aren't okay with it.
I know. I mean, look, we don't have the exact stats, and I don't think all of us can get that exact stat
Yep.
when it comes to the entire United fan base.
Correct.
And what is the exact statistics of how many want Sir Jim Ratcliffe or how many want Qatar. But however, the general polls and consensus, and these things on Twitter and YouTube channels and these different communities that we have seen, it does seem like a vast majority does want Qatar.
Yeah.
So that's where a good chunk of the United fan base is. There are, however, a decent amount of fans that don't want it, and we respect their opinion.
Yeah.
But there's not much you can do when you only have 2 options. You can only pick from whatever you have. And I mean, even with all the moral questions raised at Qatar, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Ineos bid is not moral as well. I don't know where that's coming from. It's not like they're the cleanest bids.
Not at all. Man.
Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe have more ties with Saudi than even maybe Sheikh Jassim does. So why is nobody in the mainstream or English media reporting that?
Yeah.
Why is nobody from this Sir Jim Ratcliffe fan base who only have one thing to say, that he's a Manchester United fan and will put Manchester back in Manchester? That's all you're saying.
A load of bollocks.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what that means, but that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But why is nobody coming out and explaining this to me? Like, what about all the greenwashing that Ineos is involved with? What about the Saudi connections Ineos is involved with? We've had Sir Jim Ratcliffe come and openly give pro-Saudi comments and has spoken about investment into Ineos from Saudi. So that is Middle East money.
Yeah, it's
now
foreign money.
if tomorrow we get taken over by Sir Jim Ratcliffe and he slaps an Ineos brand on our shirt, how is that not sports washing? That's a possibility, right?
Yep.
So how is that not sports washing? So come on, that's hypocrisy if you were saying that Qatar is sports washing and Qatar is not a clean bid morally. So is Jim Ratcliffe's bid not clean morally. I mean, I'm sorry, you gotta report both sides.
Yeah.
You can't be reporting only one side and showing the other as a complete villain just based on your personal opinion, speculations and assumptions. I have not once seen any Sir Jim Ratcliffe fan or Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid fans who've come and put in a point that is statistically there. It's all speculation. It's all, assumptions that, I have reasons to believe, or we think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe will put the current debt also on Ineos. They've not said that.
Yeah.
You're speculating. You're assuming. That has never been said by Ineos or Sir Jim Ratcliffe as well. Has it?
No.
So you're speculating.
Yeah,
exactly. You're saying that they will let phase us or the Glazers out 3 years later. Have they said that clearly?
No.
Have they given a number? They've just said that eventually.
It's all left in the dark.
It's all speculation. It's all assumptions.
It's all a little too sketchy for me. Like the whole bit.
Please tell me,
something doesn't feel
how
right
do
there.
I trust a man today who claims to be a United fan but decides keeping the Glazers in this club? point one, number
You
one.
lose the fan base right then and there.
So my point is,
The stock prices would have.
so my point is, this is negative PR for Sir Jim Ratcliffe,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So if this
Spot
is
on.
negative PR for Sir Jim Ratcliffe of keeping the Glazers in, especially when he needs positive PR because he needs to win over the fans to make his bid look better. Even despite this fact, he still doesn't care. The fact that there is nothing coming out of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's camp to ease the United fans is telling you that he right now currently doesn't care of what the United fans think. If right now he doesn't care and he's keeping the Glazers in when he needs the PR the most, how
Sending out the wrong message.
exactly?
man.
So
Like, sending
how
out a
do I
very
trust
wrong
that
message.
3 years later he will let go of Glazers? He's not letting them go today because he thinks that he can get 3 extra years, right, for generating the funds that he doesn't have to buy them out.
Yes.
What if he can't generate those funds 3 years later? What makes you think that he will not delay that by another year or 2 years, thinking I will generate that money in 2 years later?
we'd be probably-
Maybe 5 years or 6 years later down the line, we're still stuck with Glazers, with news coming in that eventually they'll be phased out.
Yep. Also, I think like with the Qataris, when they come to take over the club, I'm sure they're going to do a much better job than Ratcliffe and
Again,
co.
concerns on both ends.
Yeah.
If you see how PSG's run, I'm not a fan of. Agreed, they have a lot of money. They splurge money on all these superstars, and they've got sort of this Real Madrid kind of Galacticos output. I'm not a fan of that. That's not what I want. Even when I want Qatar, that is not what I
But
want.
then that's PSG.
So exactly,
That's
now what
PSG.
people need to
United
understand
and
is
PSG are a different ball game.
And how are they
PSG
different?
don't have that fan base.
exactly, this is what people fail to understand, that the reason
have that base
that
like
PSG
United.
needs the Galactico output is because they need those kind of signings to attract that fan
players.
base, to
It's the
attract
league,
that
it's the club, it's the
league and
fan
all, to
base.
attract that sort of viewership. They don't
That's
need
right.
that with Manchester United and the English Premier League. Plus, you already have a manager who has a plan. You've seen he's done a fantastic job. There is more sense in coming and giving him what he wants. What we need Qatar to do, even with Qatar, things could go wrong. But right now, from what I know of the two bids, I feel a bit more secure with Qatar.
Our preferred bidder.
Exactly. I feel a bit more comfortable with
fan's
Qatar
choice.
rather than Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because I don't know if he's taking debts to buy us, which I don't even know he can anymore, given the latest breaking news. But for instance, he finds a way around. So he's taking debts to buy us. He doesn't have the money to buy us. He doesn't have the money to clear out the debt or clear out the Glazers. 3 years later, he might have to generate that money to clear them out. All of this is already a concern. Now, where does he get that added 1 to 2 billion for revamping our stadium? Then an added amount of money for the facilities, infrastructure, training facilities, training grounds, and then another splurge of about $500 million plus that we require in the squad.
None of us see that coming from Ratcliffe's pockets, to be honest.
I don't see that either.
I'm pretty sure his pockets aren't that deep either.
I mean, honestly, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe was for clearing debt, paying the entire amount to buy the club, clearing the entire debt, and not keeping Glazers in, I would probably be bending a little more towards Sir Jim Ratcliffe rather than bending towards Qatar.
That move tipped the scales for
Exactly.
everyone. We got to know, like, if the Glazers are going to stay and if Ratcliffe is okay with it, it sets a wrong note. Like, to start off as an owner, even if you get 200 million worth of signings in, it's not going to pacify the fans. At least the true fans who know about the club, that's not going to happen. But that being said, the stock prices, the shoot that happened
You
yesterday.
got
the stock price shooting
Devesh
up.
saying, "Save us, Qatar."
Yeah, man, we need saving.
I mean, I think that's the sentiment for a lot of United fans, and we hope, Devesh, we all hope that Qatar does come and save us, which it does feel that ways. So let's head to the discussions about the recent rise of the stocks.
Yes.
So again, you see a sudden general consensus by English media and mainstream media trying to completely discredit that rise of stock price by linking it completely to one tweet, which seems to have not been probably as reliable as you would want it to be. But if you're being a little smart, if you use a little bit of your brains, you will understand that that stock price has not gone down 48 hours later. It's still holding at
it's holding its
$23,
value,
which
yeah.
is $5 above the average of $18 that has been through the entire takeover saga. And
They are anticipating the Qataris to take over, and that'll probably lead to higher stock price.
that's what Faisal
Reach
Islam
amount
as
of
well has said, right? I mean,
$35
so for clarity,
share.
Faisal Islam is the economic editor of BBC Sports.
Yeah.
So he's come out to say that almost a sixth of all shares in United were traded today, 7.7 million out of around 50 million. Share prices have gone up by 13% on yesterday and just under $23. So it's basically what he feels as well is that it does seem like this is something to do with a little more than just one tweet. You don't get 7.7 million trades based on one tweet.
Yep.
And if
That's
this was just a momentary shoot because
would have
of a
dipped.
false news, it would have come back down.
Yeah, it would have come back
But it's
down.
still holding $23, which is
I think it's going to up
significantly high.
further. And this is the reason why people are
So,
trading in their shares.
Again, I do not believe that the stock rise has been because of that tweet only. Maybe it did have maybe a slight influence, but I think there is something
There's
more
to it.
behind it.
There's more to it than me.
It just seems like on the business side of things, people do have this sentiment that the whole deal is going towards Qatar as for now. Again, things can change at any time. As you know, the Glazers will not announce a preferred bidder. They will directly announce who's the winner. So until that time, you never know. Also, with the latest news of breaking coming in of no leverage buyouts, maybe tomorrow morning we get a news that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has increased his bid, changed his bid for full takeover and is giving more money. You never know. That could be a possibility.
Coming back to the money part of things and our transfer kitty, there's news coming in of a 120 million pound budget that we have in store. But that being said, if the Qataris do take over and our club's debts are cleared, I think the calculations are
again,
50 million surplus.
This is again
right straight off the bat as soon as they.
So this was
get
reported
in.
by Mike Keegan today.
Yes.
Again, like the United's budget is thought to have an upper ceiling of 120 million, and United's budget will depend far more on player sales than it will
That
on
we
new
don't agree
owners.
with.
So yeah, I don't agree with
I
it.
don't agree with
I
that.
call
That's what I
bullshit.
have- yeah,
because
bullshit.
honestly, again, smells like PR spins to me.
Yeah.
Because let's think about this, okay? Logically,
Hmm.
you're telling me that our entire transfer will be based on not on who buys us, on who goes out, right? That's what Mike Keegan has said.
Hmm.
Again,
One more huge advantage of the Qataris coming, what I feel personally, Kylian Mbappe.
I mean, again,
I mean, it's a long shot.
we will get the
Madrid
Kylian Mbappe in a
Madrid
minute.
is a little more likely than for
we will
Mbappe to
get
go to. but then-
we'll get to Kylian Mbappe in a minute. I would love to just have that discussion as well. We will get to it, but let's just get through this first, wherein
Alright.
Mike Keegan has said that we've got probably an upper ceiling of 120 million, and our budget is more depending on player outgoings than who buys us. In the same interview, he's also said that the Glazers, Sheikh Jassim's bid has always said that they're going to clear the debt, which will directly give us a 50 million add-on to our budget.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
firstly, there's already a 50 million benefit to you based on who is coming in.
then it's
Without outgoings, based on who's coming in. Secondly, your income is increased because you've qualified for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So that's gonna an added amount. On top of that, outgoings. Let's talk about outgoings. Now, who buys us is gonna have a significant impact on the outgoings. If our budget is defined by outgoings, the outgoings are defined by who's gonna buy us.
Yeah,
Because it's
it's all
simple.
linked.
I mean, with the Glazers still in charge, they have a lot, and the debt that is already on the club. A lot of our players are probably, put down as assets to the club and cannot be. They would not want them to be sold for a cheaper amount, or
That's right.
they don't want to leave because of the high wages they're on,
Price.
like Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't see this happening under Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But if Qatar does come and buy us, I don't think they're gonna keep Harry Maguire. I think they'll just, with Harry Maguire, they'll be like, these are your offers. You are not in the plans of our future, and these are the clubs that are
Get
looking
out.
for you. And he goes on and says that, oh look, but I'm not taking a pay cut. Qatar would be like, fine, we will pay your wages. Just leave.
Yeah, get out.
Here, this is the money. This is your wages. You can go. What people don't understand is that with one owner, there's a chance we have players like Harry Maguire staying in the club.
That's right.
They're forcing themselves on this club to earn wages that he will not get anywhere else. However, with another owner, there's a very high chance that we're okay to take that loss because we've cleared the debt. It doesn't exist anymore, and we will sell them. That selling of that player will automatically, immediately give us money over our budget. On top of that, what people are not understanding is selling that player will also clear out a massive amount of wages that can be given to another player
To elite
without
players.
increasing
Elite players is what we
and
need
without,
to focus on.
without
Not
throwing our wage bill for a toss, which is already chaotic right now. So how is who buys us not impacting our budget? So I think that's again
that's-
bullshit. I think that's again English media and their PR spins trying to put this in United fans' heads that no matter who comes, we're gonna spend only 100 or 150 based on outgoings, because they don't want United fans to probably start protests and get agitated when you see how your transfer window is going. I again see this as nothing but PR spins, because I feel whether it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe or whether it's Qatar, we will spend 200 million pounds or a little north of that. But I feel that if Qatar owns us, there is a chance that we may even get to spend about 300 million pounds. Because again, there is
outgoings.
this, you have to understand that a lot of what United can and can't do is also because of how terrible the people who do our transfer negotiations are.
They're gonna get a whole set of
The
personnel.
people who are up there, who are going and doing this negotiation, I mean, come on. Every player sees us a mile off. Every player knows, oh, United's coming for me. This is what I want as wages.
So the Qataris coming will basically, it'll be that value added, that USP of United
Exactly.
also. It's more attractive for elite players to come. If
Absolutely.
I was an Mbappe or any elite player in the world, for me, knowing that United are owned by the Qataris, I know that the next 5 years, we probably have a huge chance of maybe getting the treble trophies. That's what would attract players more than anything else. Ineos, even if they do end up spending 200 million, the kind of players we're going to get for the
Even if they
200 million is
do
going to
spend
be what
200
we've been.
million, that's going to be now. Because obviously they want a statement, but I don't see
Long term, they're
a
not
sustained
they're not gonna sustain
investment.
it.
See, look, this squad is not gonna fix itself in one transfer window. It's gonna need at least to continue for the next 3 windows. Eric Ten Hag needs sufficient backing for the next 2 to 3 windows, and beyond that, he still needs a constant, continued amount of investment.
Yeah.
And I
He'll
only
stay.
see that happening under Qatar.
I can see Ten Hag staying for a long time if we have the Qataris on board. And if they give him freedom. That's what he needs. The guy needs that. He
the
needs to
man
be back. He
has
deserves it.
already done wonders. Okay, he's the Harry Potter of Manchester with what he's done. He's as usual, obviously, with Manchester United, and he's been downplayed. They've tried to undermine his achievements. They snubbed him in the Premier League Player
That was
or Manager
wrong.
of the Month as well.
That was
So, despite what stats say and what all of these people claim, Eric Ten Hag has done a fabulous job and deserves exactly
With
what
that
he
start
wants.
to the season we had last year, like no one could have foreseen where we'd end up at the end of the season.
Bro, I mean, a
And we
year
were
ago,
close. We were close, man.
Before that season,
But I
before the
won.
season began, I didn't think we'd make it in the top 7. And
Top 6 was
specifically
my
after
prediction.
our first 2 games, I thought we're probably we're doing what Chelsea did this
Mid-table,
season.
yeah.
I thought we were doing what Chelsea did, maybe
That would have
something
been
like
our
a
worst
12th.
ever, I think. Yeah, that would have been one of
That's
our
what I
worst
was
ever.
predicting. After the first 2 games and after,
Dread.
I
Horror.
mean, after the coming off of last season,
We've been through a lot as United fans.
plus
man.
everything that he's had to go through, the whole saga, the Ronaldo saga, and everything. I mean, let's not get into it. There's a lot, but everything that
He
he's
came into a
dealt
mess,
with.
yeah.
Exactly.
Ten Hag's done a stellar job.
So yeah, that's where we
Incoming-
stand. With
incoming-
that's where we
incomings.
stand with the takeover and the stock price. Again, Mike Keegan has said that there is still hope that a deal gets done by the end of the week. So let's hope that's true.
Transfer window's open
Fingers
now.
crossed.
We need to
It's
move
officially
fast.
open.
Some
Yes.
of the Glazers don't care, but we do. And
So yeah, with the transfer window open, let's move on to transfers
Yes.
now and what's going on. But again, with the news coming in, let's hope that we do get a decision the end of the week, and it is what we want for a better future. Full sale only, and Glazers out now. So moving on to transfers, there have been a few reports here and there. Things have been slow, obviously, because like we've been saying previously, till a sale outcome comes out, our transfers will get impacted.
Yeah, we're stuck.
So it's again, the same bullshit where we've thrown Eric Ten Hag into another chaotic window. But there could be, a light at the end of the tunnel with maybe a possibility of a double swoop of not just Qatar coming in, but Kylian Mbappe as well.
I'd feel
with
Qatari
reports reports coming in of with Kylian Mbappe has sent a letter to PSG stating that he's not going to be renewing his contract post 2025. The option that he has to extend
Clear
for a year.
communication was made apparently 2 years ago.
Exactly. I mean,
Which is why Madrid is still
on the
still a
PSG
massive
side of
possibility.
things, specifically Nasser, they seem, they feel like they've been betrayed by Mbappe. They feel strongly that, this is not right. And
He's wasting his
Mbappe
career
has
at
done.
PSG. He's wasting his
I agree with
potential and
that.
his talent.
But, we need to report news. So
Him
this
watching
is what-
Haaland won't be an easy pill to swallow as well. If I were Mbappe sitting there,
I
I'd
would
want to
want to
be
come.
in this jersey.
Absolutely.
I want to be wearing a United jersey, facing off against Haaland and topping the scoring
we've
charts.
seen
Is what I would think.
I mean, whatever I've seen in Spain, we've seen in Spain what a biggest rivalry like Messi versus Ronaldo can do. Imagine what will happen in the
Haaland
Premier
versus
League. Haaland versus Mbappe.
The El Clasico.
Yeah, I mean, I will not deny there are concerns when it comes to Mbappe because obviously, with a lot of the attitude that he's gonna bring in, there's gonna be probably reports of a lot of tantrums and things like that. The way things go, wage structure and everything. So there could be, again, a mess when it comes to certain players. But come on, he's the best
Mbappe,
player in the world right now. He's Kylian Mbappe,
World
and
Cup
I
final,
would
3 goals, hat-trick.
I will take him in this
World
club
class, man.
in a jiffy.
Yeah.
Split second. Even Cristiano Ronaldo
Bye Jadon Sancho.
Cristiano Ronaldo came with baggage.
Yeah.
When he came
can't
back.
compare the two. Mbappe is entering his prime.
No, I mean, my point is, even if you talk about baggage, I'm not talking about when Cristiano came when he was young. I'm talking about when Cristiano came back.
That's what
He
I'm
did
saying.
come back with baggage. So we still took him.
He was a player
and I was
near
happy.
the end of his
I was
career.
happy with that. I was ecstatic when we knew we were getting Cristiano back. And contrary to the reports, I still think he was the best striker in the world at the point when we re-signed him.
He was.
The fact
He
is
was.
that we weren't good enough to give him what he needed to score.
I think you joining United was the wrong move. You'll never get back to your ex, mate.
I mean, I understand, the whole saga, what happened, and how we had to let him go because it was getting quite toxic eventually. But like I said, with Mbappe also, he's the best player in the world according to me right now, and I would take him in a jiffy.
He can afford to be a little
Specifically with reports coming out that it could be 130 mil. Wow. And I mean, obviously, if Qatar do take us over, there are reports that Qataris are thinking of a win-win situation wherein they would like to sell us to United because they're hell-bent on not selling to Real Madrid. So, obviously, there could be a possibility. I still think it's a little far-fetched. But, there's no harm in hoping. And I do hope this turns out to be one of those impact and announcement signings by Sheikh Jassim.
It'll be one hell of a statement.
Man, I would love
Prices
it.
are going to shoot up. Whatever would happen.
Yeah, I mean, reports say that they will shoot up to a price of $30-$35. Man, I think they will shoot over 50 if we get Mbappe. Man.
It'd be a huge statement. A massive statement.
No,
we get him.
I would be happy. I would definitely be happy. But again, like I said, there are reports as well that say that Mbappe does not want to come to United, even though PSG do want to say that. Some reports say that he thinks it's an interesting prospect. So obviously we'll only know when we know, and that's only after the sale does get sorted out. So it's far-fetched, but
I have a gut feeling. I think I have a gut feeling if the Qataris take over United.
The timing, the timing of this entire thing does feel like that. It gives you that hope.
Yes,
and I will take any hope right now.
Yeah.
That's
all we have as fans.
Exactly. So I will happily take it, man. So yeah, moving on now from Mbappe.
Something that looks done. Yes, 42 million.
42 million is reported release clause, and now there are strong reports coming in that Kim Min-jae is stalling that contract. He's stalling. He doesn't want to sign that contract that will take away his release clause. So it still looks like he's not going to sign. That release clause will get activated on the 1st of July.
Here we go.
And with the current reports coming in, it looks that United are very close and could almost be done, and he might join us on the first, which again, I will not be as positive about this. I don't feel like it's such a short deal in terms of I don't see him coming unless we let go of Harry Maguire. So we'll have to see what happens with that story, which again is tied to who buys us.
Yep. But
Then
I have a fear. Kim Min Jae is
Let's talk about
something more
the-
realistic. I think Kim Min Jae is going to
I
happen.
mean, yeah, I would love to have him. I want him, but like I said,
we've got Phil Jones
you know,
leaving the club. We've got Axel Tuanzebe
like I said, you know,
leaving.
there are a lot of concerns with Ten Hag
Eric
and
Bailly
his
is going to be on his
clarity.
way out. I think we're going to probably get Kim Min Jae.
I would
But yeah,
happily
Maguire
take him.
needs
Like
to
I
be
said,
sold.
I don't care even if Maguire doesn't go. I would still want him.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Again, we will have to wait till the 1st of July for this, and a bit on what happens with Maguire as well. So moving on to the goalkeeping situation, which is sort of like the hot topic around Manchester United. You know, it's always been
People aren't
with
talking
De Gea
about this as much
and,
as they should be.
Yeah, and not just De Gea, you know, with the hate again around De Gea, specifically from with the end of the with the FA Cup final as well. So obviously there's a lot of talks around and hate around David De Gea, which I think is a bit unfair. I do feel and understand the opinion of wanting a modern keeper and, you know, wanting that change, where, you know, how you want Ten Hag to play that ball. But I feel De Gea's received a lot of hate and criticism, more than he should be or he deserves.
So-
because he's still been an excellent servant of this club. He's been a legend of the club. He's even this season got us a lot of points. I feel he's got us more points than what he's lost with a few mistakes he's made.
He has. So he is prone to that mistake every now and then.
Look at the
His
reports
passing
coming
range
in.
is a little bit of a hindrance when it comes
It
to
is.
how Ten Hag
Like
wants
I
to play
said,
from the back.
It is, and I am completely all for a modern keeper. I understand that
David
sentiment.
Raya is not the solution.
But come on,
right?
I mean, in one breath you're telling me we're having issues with what we can spend, and in the second breath you're telling me that you want to spend about 50 to 70 mil on a goalkeeper, where you already have a limited budget and you have other pressing concerns. I mean, we did not face the problems we did last season because of defense or goalkeeping issues. I do not
But
believe that.
you know what? This is something that I have.
We've had the most clean sheets.
I get it. So clean sheets, shot stopping. De Gea is probably top tier, probably the best in the
So
world.
you're
but
telling me we can't survive a year with, you know, if you go
We can.
buy 2 strikers, you buy 2 midfielders, you buy a centre back, and you think we can't survive with De Gea.
So no, I get it. Surviving is not a problem. I
look,
love De Gea.
If we have the money, like if we have 300 million pounds and we can go and buy 7 or 8 players,
then we'd get
sell
it.
De Gea, get Costa.
Yes. Costa would
I'm
be my first choice.
completely happy
David
with
Raya, I'm
that.
not convinced with the guy.
I'm not. Look, again,
He's
this
not
is why.
someone who can be a number one.
This
He's
is
a
why, because I don't see us being able to spend for Costa. So
I'd rather keep De Gea.
I would rather
instead.
keep De Gea. I don't want us going and spending 40 million pound on David Raya. 40 million pound for Raya. Come on, please. He's been good for Brentford, but I do not see him as somebody as good enough to play for Manchester United.
So
People undermine the pressure of being a Manchester United goalkeeper. It's not an easy job. So again, Raya, even though he is a modern goalkeeper, I still don't think he's that great, or he's so far better off in terms of being a modern goalkeeper. He's not that great for out
his
of his feet.
distribution is
he's
better than De Gea, but it's not the best.
But my point is, his distribution is not as bad, is that great as compared to
It's
De
not
Gea,
world
that I
class.
lose out on the shot stopping abilities of
so
De Gea.
watching Andre Onana in the Champions League final,
I would
the
happily
way
take
the
him.
guy passes the ball. Now I know
Exactly.
Ten Hag and him have had a fallout in the past,
Yeah,
and
and
things
maybe
aren't going
that's
to
why
work
we
out.
might not work out. But again,
But
I would
if-
love somebody like an Onana or a Costa. But like I said, the only reason why I would still think we should stick with De Gea is the money aspect of it. Because Costa's going to be expensive. He is going to cost you a lot. Onana will be expensive as well. Now, I do not... Again, Sommer has come back into talks.
Nah, I'm not a.
Now, I'm not a Sommer fan as
not-
well.
not me either.
He could be something we look at, because obviously we were interested in January as well. So rather than going for Sommer, or keeping Dean Henderson, or going for
Henderson out.
somebody like David Raya or Jordan Pickford, oh my god! I mean, don't
that
even.
was frightening. That was
terrible.
that was
That's
terrible.
terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying.
I mean, that's absolutely terrifying.
Letting go of your world class player to keep to get someone like Pickford in.
Exactly.
It's like a hammer on your foot. That's a bad choice.
That's a terrible choice.
That is the Jim Ratcliffe
And
side.
that's what scares me. Like, cause the sort of signing that
Pickford,
I
40
see
million.
happening under Jim Ratcliffe is things like Pickford, is things like Rabiot on a free, and those are the sort of signings I see happening under Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Whereas under Qatar, I see completely different prospect. So again,
Qatar, we see Mbappe, and Jim with Sir Jim, we see nothing.
so yeah, again, so this is what's the latest news when it comes to the takeover and the transfers. So again, a lot of things will depend on what happens this week. So we're still hoping we get the news by end of the week. Positive news, full sale only, Glazers out, and hopefully this is the week.
Yeah,
This is the week where Manchester United become Qatari.
let's hope so. Let's hope so.
So guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, let us know down in the comment section what do you guys think about this whole takeover saga, about the latest breaking news with regards to what's happening with no leverage buyouts, and what are your views on the transfers and the incomings and outgoings. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe with notifications on. A lot of content to follow. Thank you so much for watching. We've enjoyed the video today. I've enjoyed this show tonight.
Likewise, mate.
So see you guys soon. Take care.
Take care, guys.